That was the cold open, right?
Yeah, we just have to clear our throats. We got to get ready to record. This is some big stuff we're talking about here, Wes.
Huge, major. Probably the biggest stuff anybody's ever going to hear today.
Everywhere globally, this is the biggest thing you're going to hear today. This is the biggest thing you're going to see today. Don't look into it. Don't look into it.
Please.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pace Pals. We have the round 2 recap today of the 120 star qualifiers for Fall Pace 2024. Of course, I'm Zeas. I am here with Wes Dog. Wes, how are you doing?
I am doing good so far today, Zeas. It's halfway through the qualifiers, which means technically, I guess, we're halfway to Fall Pace. So
yeah,
just one step closer.
It is coming up very soon. Of course, Fall Pace is in the beginning of November. It does start on November 3rd. So yeah, it is coming up very, very quick. We have one more round of qualifiers after this, and things are definitely starting to heat up. Things are definitely starting to look a little interesting in terms of who is going to qualify. But if you're watching this episode and you might be thinking, isn't there usually a third person in these recap episodes? Where's the guy at the bottom with the funny mustache? Well, unfortunately, Gio Gringo is busy stealing the W from the Hollywood sign for our future podcast studio, so he could not make it today. Look at that schedule. Look at that schedule for Pacefall. Wes,
I thought I was in studio mode and it wasn't showing up for you yet. Whoops. I was gonna wait for a natural transition, but I obviously studio mode does not work for virtual camera. I learned something new today.
We're so locked in. We're falling apart without Gio. He is busy stealing the W from the Hollywood sign for our future podcast studio, so he could not make it today. But we are here. Me and Wes are still going to take you through round 2, and arguably the biggest story of round 2. A little bit of a disappointing, maybe a little bit of a sad one. Puncay has decided to step away from Super Mario 64 speedrunning. He has officially announced his retirement. He posted a tweet about it. He said, yeah, so I'm not going to make a big deal about it or anything, but after thinking about it for a couple months, I've decided to retire from SM64 speedruns. The passion has disappeared, and I think it's for the best that I stop forcing it. 2012 to 2024, I had a long run. GG's. Wes, what are your thoughts on Puncay's retirement? 07s.
I mean, 12 years to something is absolutely incredible. That's honestly a lot longer than many careers of major professional athletes out there. Puncay, he did his time, he did his service. One of the longest lasting top-level Mario runners of all time and time again, always competing for world record, high consistency. It's just so unexpected, man. I really wasn't expecting it to go out like this, man. It's actually so sad that I'm gonna need to pour one out here for Puncay because I'm so fucking relieved I don't have to worry about the curse anymore. He has cursed me for his runs time and time again, and now finally I can live in peace. I don't have to worry about cursing him anymore, but it's still very sad.
It's still very sad. We're obviously very heartbroken here in the Pace Pal studio. Wes, you don't have to worry about cursing Puncay anymore. You can commentate freely. It's over. It's over. You could live your life now. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Puncay has pushed the game in so many ways, and he's always been at the top of 120 star pretty much ever since he started. So if we can just like take a moment of silence for Puncay and just acknowledge his career and remember what he did for Mario 64. Oh,
I
wait.
know it's what he would have wanted, of course.
Hold on. Wait a minute. We're getting breaking news here. A tweet from Punkation has just come out. Guys, I'm fucking around. Why the fuck would I retire during the second pace qualifier? LOL. I mean, I think it's inevitable. Every runner will retire eventually, but now isn't my time. Anyways, time to go live with day 2 runs. Hopefully I can get at least a 139 or better. Let's go. Puncay officially unretiring live during the recording session of Pace Pals. This is incredible news. This is amazing.
I'm gonna need to go change my shirt quickly. I was ready to be wet with excitement and solace from the retirement of Puncay, but now I need to regroup. I need to get redressed and come back with a completely professional attire.
Yeah, you guys don't get to see Wes change. You got to pay extra for that. That's in the it's in the link down below. Chat, there's no link down below. I'm just
what? There's no link down below. What? How could you do this? How could you do us like that, Zeas? How could you?
Oh my goodness! Look at this. What is that shirt?
It's Herbie Husker.
Oh, let's go. Shout out Huskers. Oh my goodness. Okay,
wanted to keep red with the Mario theme I was going for earlier.
That's beautiful. That's perfect. I love it. I love it. So obviously, Puncay didn't actually retire. Breaking news. He tweeted that, and apparently he wasn't expecting it to get the reception that it got, so he had to backtrack so quickly. Like 6 hours later, I think.
Yeah, does Puncay not understand the power, the influence he has over the community? How did he not think there was going to be a reaction to him saying that he's retiring? He just seriously think people were just going to maybe a couple of close friends were going to come in and say, Good job, man. You had a good run while it lasted." No, you're freaking Punkation, man. You're basically, for the most part, the bulk of the history of this video game, speedrunning at least.
Yeah, he has genuinely made such a demonstrable impact on the community. It would be very shocking if people didn't acknowledge community-wide that Puncay was stepping away. But yeah, my man doesn't know the power that he has. He doesn't know. But of course, Puncay still did compete in the qualifiers this past weekend, and he put up some pretty good times. He looks like he had a Wait a minute. Yeah, he had a 138.50. He had a 138.50. I was reading the notes wrong here. He was third in the second round, and he is now first overall between the two rounds, taking over GreenSuigi, who we will talk about in a little bit. But he is now on top of the standings with 35 points between the two rounds.
I think he needed to channel some inner Michael Jordan tactic going on there. Jordan famously retiring and going to play baseball for a year and a half before declaring that he's back, and that resurgence from unretiring got him at a second three-peat there. Maybe Puncay having a quick little retirement arc is now going to give him the boost he needs to get the 136 and possibly get world record. I think a retirement should have gone on a little bit longer if you want the full MJ arc, but I'm not Puncay, so I don't know these things.
Yeah, Puncay retired for a whole 6 hours, and we are speedrunners here. He speedran retirement, and he came back. And he put up a really, really solid time in the qualifiers, and now he's in a really, really good spot to qualify in general for fall. Especially with the third qualifier having more points at play for each of the positions. So he could get another top 3, maybe even a top 5 spot in the third qualifier, and he's set. He's going to be in Laurel, Maryland in November. He's chilling.
Yeah, the funny thing, Puncay also mentioned at the end of that run that throughout this whole qualifier, he feels like he hasn't finished that many runs. He said he's done 4, 5, maybe 6 runs overall, so the fact that now through 4 days of competing, he's only put up, 5 or 6 runs, and those 5 or 6 runs just happens to put him at the top of the leaderboard, just goes to show the man's consistency knows no bounds, and he's still chilling up there at the top, but maybe not for too much longer, because out of completely nowhere, Zeas, the story that I don't think a single person, especially none of the three of us here at Pace Pals, were expecting. Smau 64, after shortly returning from an 8 to an 8.5 month break of military service for his country, comes out to play in the qualifiers, and on Saturday just absolutely shocks us all by posting a 1:37.48, which is not only the first place time for the whole qualifiers, but an actual 8-second PB for the man himself.
I mean, that's like one of the most impressive things you can do. Like, it's one thing to talk about somebody who's like maybe playing at like a 150 level or a 140 level, which are still impressive times, don't get me wrong, but to talk about somebody coming back at Smau's level after not playing the game for so long, after being so mentally focused on something else for so long, and to still PB, it's insane. It's insane. He's right back to where he was. It seems like he didn't even lose a step. And with a time like that, he put up obviously the best time of round number 2. So if he could replicate that without even having the first round under his belt, he could also potentially put himself in a really good spot to qualify for fall as well. Like, it's insane.
Absolutely shocking. Smau, of course, finishing as the 7th and final person to qualify for Summer Pace last year, and finished, I believe, 5th overall in the event. Was not expecting a huge resurgence like this. Sitting at 6th place overall now in the standings, but 5 points ahead of 7th place right now, and 7 points ahead of the 8th place person. So yeah, as long as they just play next week, and even they don't even have to get a PB, if they just get that low time, they're looking sure. But I guess just to say this, is the way things are looking right now, do you see Smau qualifying by the end of the qualifier 3 next month?
If Smau can, and if he could play like this in September for the next rounds, he has a very good shot. I would not be shocked at all to see him up there in the top 7. Obviously, you're going to take it because, you know, the benefit of coming in the top 7 is you get, like, your travel and everything paid for. So if he has the opportunity, you know, he's back from his military service, I could 100% see him up there. I would love to see Smau up there. Honestly, he was a qualifier for summer 2023 as well, and you know, he still performed very, very well up on that stage too. So I'd love to see him up there. And honestly,
probably gonna be probably like
sorry.
49.
I wanted to show the clip of the PB we had here. You could see him in the pixelated download quality. Him's just absolutely popping the heck off right now.
Liam, come back, please.
48. That's GG. That's a new PB, right? You said it was like a 137.5x?
Yep, that is an 8-second PB now for Smau 64, achieved live here on the Global Speedrun Association Pace Qualifiers. GG's Smau.
Gotta be the best reaction ever. Not like this.
I mean, nobody ever expects to PB on a run like that in that kind of context. Like, he absolutely had to have been going in to that round just being like, all right, you know what, I'm just gonna play just to, you know, get the hands warmed up a little bit. But yeah, no, definitely was not expecting the PB, and that run is still very improvable for him too. It looks like he had a 1:37.09 best possible time going into Rainbow Ride, and he did hit Carpulus on his first try, although apparently it was a little bit of a slow setup to get up there. And even still had a 1:37.33 best possible time in Bowser in the Sky, but he missed the throw. So this run is still insanely improvable, and he's running hot right now. He's got all the momentum. We could maybe see another PB in round 3 if he keeps this up, or before round 3, depending on how much he grinds. But yeah, no, he's cooking right now. Smau is absolutely cooking it up in the lab right now.
I've been trying to look for a clever rhyme to attach to him. It seems like there's an opportunity there. You got Finland or Finn or even Smau. There's something there, but I just can't figure out what it is right now. But I guess the best way to just say it is now, he's the Blue Bob of fall 2024. He's the comeback kid.
Ooh.
The true comeback kid, just literally out of nowhere, just shocking us all right now.
Yeah, he is definitely a very, very big surprise of the second round and going forward. But Wes, what's not a surprise, Kally continuing his run as a dominant 120-star player. A 138.41 for Kally in the second round. It is good for second place in this qualifier, and now Kally stands third overall on the standings between the two rounds. Again, going into round 3, Kally is obviously one of those players you expect to be up on the stage at this point. He loves competing on stage. We have talked to him about it in our interview episode. He just wants to be up there, and he's gonna try his best to get up there. And you know, he's been playing at such a high level for so long. Again, I would not be surprised to see Kally back up there. But yeah, had a really good qualifier weekends. His first the first day he put up the 138.41. It was his first run of the day too. So he puts up that really good run, and he just kind of chills. And I don't think he played again for the second day. I don't think he played again on Sunday.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I don't think he did. Which that's not the first time that Kally's done that either. He just comes. He's got this ability, this consistency from all the no reset practices he's done. He's able to just come in, get the job done, and then just peace out. It's like 2.5 hours into the stream, just decided like, yep, okay, I'm good with that time. Rated in, and we never saw him for the rest of the weekend. It just goes to show that Kally is a force to be reckoned with. Ever since he's shown up on the big stage, he refuses to leave. He's I say we haven't quite put him up there with the name of the all-time greats yet, but he has been continuously flirting with that level for so long now, and just time in and time out, just consistently getting up there in the top of the qualifiers. It's only a matter of time before we recognize Kally as one of the GOATs of the game overall.
Yeah, it is really just a matter of time, like you said. I feel like it's gonna reach a certain point. He's gonna reach that GOAT level, because it is about, you know, coming out here and putting up really good times. But I think sustaining the level of gameplay for a while is also kind of what puts you into GOAT territory. And Kally is definitely well underway to reaching that sustainability of playing at a really high level, and he's only getting better. He's only getting better every single time he picks up the controller. He gets better. He's improving, and honestly, I can't wait to see where Kally's at, either by the end of this next qualifier or even like next year looking ahead. It's just gonna be insane to see Kally's rise and his rise to dominance, because he really puts in work. He is a grinder. He's grinding the game every day. So I just want to see Kally up there.
I'd say with 30 points, he's basically locked in for the qualifier. He could probably not even show up in September and still likely get into the final event, even with the new dynamic point system. And just, yeah, it seems like at minimum of 5 days a week, he's playing Mario 64 on stream. Even today, just earlier this morning, he didn't feel like doing runs, but he still turned that into a 4-hour practice session for Shifting Sandland. The man, like, he's dedicated to the craft, and honestly, more power to him. With league going on, the fantasy league going on for some of us casual players, or, you know, not top level players going on, I'm burned out with the game and ready to kind of put it off into the side. I don't know how people like Kally are able to find the effort and the fortitude time and time again to just keep playing the game and grinding it out constantly. It's really, you really have to be built differently.
You absolutely have to be built differently, and yeah, to do it at such a high level at such a consistent rate is super impressive. I have to imagine the prospect of being able to qualify yourself for an event like PACE is definitely very motivating, because, you know, there's obviously a lot of other very talented runners that are competing for the same thing. So, you know, he does kind of have to keep up. He does have to keep his skills sharp, and he's definitely showing it. 4 hours of SSL practice. That is crazy, especially if you're not feeling super motivated to play in the first place.
You know who is staying sharp, though, Zeas? Beast Assassin 67.
Oh, my man Beast.
Got on a handful of deep runs over this last qualifiers. I believe had 4 or 5 go all the way to Tippy on healthy 138 paces. Unfortunately, it just seemed once he got to the clock or to Rainbow Ride, it seemed to cause some downfalls there. On Saturday, we saw him clutch out a 139.15 after dying halfway through TTC 100s, dying on the carpetless setup and missing a Bowser throw. Still got the 139.15, which was good for him to finish fourth overall in the qualifiers, I believe. Maybe even let me actually think. No, I think even fifth overall in the qualifiers after accounting for Puncay's time there. But still got on a couple of other 138, 139 paces that died to Bowser throws. But Beast Assassin, again, one of those guys kind of like Kally, just he was the new up-and-comer for Summer Pace 2023, but it seems like now more than ever, he is not going away and he's still staying sharp, still on the grind where he's planning to stream every day until he gets the 136. Zeas, do you think we might see Beast clutch out that 136 before this next qualifier?
I gotta see it happen. I gotta see it happen. Beast is just so easy to root for. I mean, so is every runner that competes for this, but Beast is just like, we talk enough about like his family and the environment that brings to a live event like Pace, but yeah, no, Beast is I think he's on like day 50 of streaming every day until he gets a 136. Like, I don't think anybody out here is putting in the level of work that this guy's putting in right now. But yeah, no, absolutely a great point. He is somebody who, again, you expect to see up there at this point. The shoe-in, the random shoe-in for Summer Pace 2023, and just has not dropped a beat ever since then. He has just kept himself up here at the top level. And yeah, I do think we're going to see the 136 very soon. Maybe even at this next qualifier. We don't know. But streaming every day is tough. Playing Mario every day is tough. Doing it for 50 some odd days in a row is very, very tough. So all the credit in the world to Beast. I think, of course, we're going to see him back up there again at fall pace. But yeah, no, the 136 is coming very soon.
He is on day 57 right now, which
that's insane.
Part of me was hoping he would have gotten the 136 like he did the 137. Streaming every day until 137. Oh, I got it on the first day. Okay, let me just bust out a 136 here within a week.
Maybe that's what he was thinking. Had to have been what he was thinking, but you know, 136 is a really tough time. I would say if we're putting it in terms of like pre and post carpetless, obviously I don't know anything about getting a 137 or a 136 in 120 star. I have a 203. But the 136 is kind of like the new 137. Like if we're talking pre-carpetless, getting a 136 now would be like getting a 137 back then, which was a very, very impressive time. But yeah, the 136 is a tough grind, and I think he's got it. I don't know how close he's come, but I think he's got it soon.
It's one of the unfortunate things about now getting back into the workforce. I haven't had given myself as much time as I would like to have going through every single person's streams and finding out what their efforts have looked like. But I imagine if he's still going strong and still playing to the level he is, at the very least, streaming every day has really built up his consistency to the fact now that we're seeing him consistently getting to Tippy over and over again with 137, 138 paces.
Yeah.
Also, you know what that means? If we see Beast again for fall pace, that means we'll also see the return of the Beast family.
True, and everybody loves to see that. Everybody loves to see the Beast family. Super, super supportive. They're rocking their Beast Assassin gear. You know who they are. You can tell who they are by the shirts that they're wearing usually. But yeah, it's super, super great seeing them out there and supporting him. Just love to see that. Love to see that from a family supporting their son speedrunning. It's really wholesome. And they're also donators to the Urban Arts too. They always frequently donate to the Urban Arts, which is sick. So shout outs to them for that too. But speaking of streaming every day, Wes, there is somebody else in these qualifiers who is also streaming every day, but for a different reason. We have Cheese in the middle of the Cheeseathon right now. posting a 139.11 in this second round of qualifiers, which was 4th in the qualifier. He is now 5th overall on the standings, according to the notes. Impressive to do that under this kind of circumstance. Doing a subathon, streaming every day in that regard, and having to plan content all the time is exhausting in and of itself. And to still come out here and put up a really, really good time, like a 139, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that's just what Cheese does. Looks like he finished this 139 on Saturday, but he was a 138 3x best possible time into Bowser throws, but he missed 2 throws, put up the 139, and then played some Elden Ring after. So good way to cool down. And I don't think he did really any runs on Sunday. He did a few attempts, but he didn't finish any. So just kind of rode off with that 139.11, and it got the job done. He got 4th place.
Yeah, good on the community of Cheese for people to understand that this is still the qualifier. He is still a Mario 64 runner first and foremost, so he did have to do his part and partake in the qualifier. So the fact that he couldn't put as much time as either he would like to have, or even us as the fans would like to have seen him participate in the qualifiers, could just still within one day of runs, maybe I'd say just over like about 4 or 5 hours over the course of the weekend altogether, and still clutch out a 139. It just goes to show that the Cheese plot armor thickens. He's still going strong. I wonder if the subathon is going to continue by the time we get to the qualifiers in September. He's got over 1,700 subs right now, and he's still live as of the recording of this podcast with you and I. And I believe he's in what day is he in again?
Day 15! Give it up for day 15!
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, Mr. Krabs.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy poll. That's amazing. And he has 1,700 subs on day 15 of his subathon, which is craziness. That is craziness. Shout out to the Cheese community for doing that.
Which shoutouts to Beeve, by the way. Literally right before recording this, he gifted me a sub to the Cheese channel, tier 2 actually. So Beeve actually showing his support. I guess I'm tier 2 worthy of the great Ches.
My goodness. Obviously, as of the time of this recording, it's not. Is it day 15 currently? What day is he on now?
It is currently.
Day 15! Give it up for day 15!
I'm not gonna lie, I just wanted to see the clip again. That was pretty good. But yeah, no, it is insane that Cheese is still, his mind is in other places. He's focused on other stuff, and yeah, he's still coming out here. He's still doing his thing, and he's putting himself in a really, really good position to qualify for fall pace.
Somebody else who might be doing their own thing behind the scenes, Zeas, is GreenSuigi, who previously, before the qualifiers, sent out a tweet for everybody to see. I'm going to pull it up right now to get the exact quote here. He said, I search him up and... Wait, this account doesn't exist. What? Did GreenSuigi close his Twitter?
There's no way. There's no way.
Is this breaking news, actually? Because I search GreenSuigi, I go to @GreenSuigi, and it says this account doesn't exist. I'm not even kidding right now.
Oh my goodness. Are we finding this out live? Wait, Suigi actually deleted his Twitter.
Unless he changed his handle and I don't know about it, but
no, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think even if you change your handle, it would still pop up.
Or at the very least, yeah, it would show that the @ mark doesn't work anymore. But yeah, this is what I'm seeing right now when I go online.
Wow.
I
had no idea.
Well, that might be something might be worth looking into a little bit later. But something that is worth talking about is when the account was active. GreenSuigi did put out a tweet saying that he did not feel he was going to qualify, or did not feel it was best to qualify. He was just going to sit this one out, take a break, and possibly play next month. But it turns out on Saturday, he came in towards the end of the day and decided to bring out a quick little no reset run. He was on 137 pace going into Tippy. He did lose about a minute in TTC. due to some falls here and there from TTC 100, and I believe a death towards the end of the stage as well. And was 138 pace into bits, but after missing a couple throws, was only able to get out of 139.18. But with that time, still finished him for 6th overall in the qualifiers, and still sits in 2nd place overall on the current leaderboard with 31 points because of that 1st place finish he had from last month. GreenSuigi, despite not having much of a showing this weekend, is still looking like to be a lock for the quals as long as even if he doesn't participate next month. I mean, Zeas, where do you think we'll see Zeas, or not Zeas, where do you think we'll see Suigi at with his position next month?
I'm locking in the 7 spot for me personally, but for Suigi, if he just doesn't participate in September, maybe he, you know what? I just said the 7 spot for myself, but maybe he could still take the 7 spot. I mean, it just depends on how everybody else performs and who decides to, do runs for round 3. But he might be a shoo-in. He might be a shoo-in for fall pace, but if he takes it at that point, who knows? Who knows how GreenSuigi's going to feel a month from now? But yeah, I mean, it would be really, really cool to see him up there because this would be his first 120-star stage appearance. So it would be really, really cool to see him compete in a new category. Of course, we've seen him compete for 16-star in the past. But yeah, it's gonna depend a lot on A, how he's feeling, and B, just how everybody else plays and who else plays in the 3rd round. But maybe we could be seeing a 7 spot from Suigi, even if he doesn't go in September.
I mean, it's crazy to even think that the 5 out of 5 conversation is still a possibility here for Suigi. A year after just hardcore practice, and now he's gotten to the point where he can just, with no effort whatsoever, bust out a 139 and 120. I remember when he was first starting to do runs, it seemed to be a struggle to just even get a mid to high 1.4x because just all the breakdowns and mistakes happening in Tippy. But he's still far there at the top level, and he is here to stay, at least for the time being now. I'll be curious to see if his break will extend into the month of September, but for now, I'm looking forward to seeing Suigi on the big stage for more than just 16-star.
Yeah, I hope so too. Obviously, he's arguably at this point one of the greatest runners that has ever picked up the controller from Mario 64. So it's very, very hard to not want to see that kind of runner up on stage and representing the game as a whole, representing the category. It would be really, really cool to see him up there, but we're gonna have to see how it plays out. But right now, where it stands after the 2nd round, he's looking good. But we're going to see what the 3rd round has in store. We have a little time for a weather report right now. We got to check in on the weather really quick. I'm looking out my window.
What's it looking like out there?
You know, it's maybe a little bit of a cloudy day today. It's not really looking super clear, classic Massachusetts. But I'm kind of getting the indication that, Wes, it's still Gothic season. It's still Gothic season outside. Hashtag Gothic season. Everybody knows how it works. Everybody knows the deal. Gothic had a pretty good weekend. Did not finish in the top 7. He was just on the outskirts of the top 7. Finished in 8th with a 140.12. But that run had a missed carpetless. It looks like he had an issue with the window, which, of course, classic carpetless. The window movement is harder than the actual trick itself. But that mistake at carpetless did cost him a low 139. So we could be talking about maybe like a 6 or 5 spot for Gothic if that mistake hadn't gone down. But despite the 2nd round performance, overall, Gothic is still holding on to the 7 spots across the 2 rounds. So a strong performance from Gothic in round number 3 could once again get Gothic Logic back on the stage in Laurel, Maryland for his 2nd live appearance. I'm excited to see it. It's Gothic season. It's always going to be Gothic season. Shout out Geo for being a Gothic hater. But you know what? That's why we're gonna talk as much good about Gothic as we can now, so Geo's not here to shoot it down.
There's only one reason if you're a Gothic hater, and that's
You are not good.
He's just better than you at the game, and that's all there is to it. He's just like Tom Brady, you know. You just hate him because he's good, and
oh, we really had to go there, huh?
I'm sorry, Gio. My man is not here to defend himself right now. Maybe we can, maybe we can talk about this on the next recap episode. But
yeah. So the crazy thing too about that 140-12, it did hold him into the top 7 for virtually the entire weekend until Simply finally finished a run, and Puncay upgraded from his 140 that he got the other night. So Gothic, though not on the top 7 of the leaderboard, still for the qualifier, is still in the top 7 overall for now, as you were saying. The consistency up until Rainbow Ride is absolutely crazy. It seems just even a repeater still going off the same mojo from the summertime. Gothic has no troubles getting to Rainbow Ride. It just seems carpetless is the constant little thorn in the side that seems to be deterring him from getting the truly great times that can guarantee him a top spot on the leaderboard. But also, in case anybody missed it from this last weekend, Gothic almost lost the run overall in a very close call. When he was doing 100 coins, he had to go get the Chuckia for backup because he did not have enough coins on the ship when this happened.
After doing it first, he said he greatly prefers it because you kind of just like get it out of the way and you're able to just cruise through the rest of Rainbow Ride. So I think it's definitely different for people.
no.
That has got to be the luckiest not star grab I have ever seen. I've never been more fortunate to see anybody just get into the falling state when opening up the box. That has got to be the luckiest not star grab in the history of this game.
That, I mean, we usually see that kind of thing. I feel like in BOB, if the stars spawn a little too close to each other, we can see in HMC when the stars spawn a little too close to each other. I think that's the first time I've seen it in Rainbow Ride, and shoutouts to Gothic for not just like muscle memorying, like grabbing the star, because like you said, that could have ended very, very badly, grabbing the wrong star there. So good on Gothic for recovering. But yeah, it's a little too close of a call. Did the commentators say anything about it? Were they even like, did they acknowledge it?
They were mid ramble. Pando did go on a little bit later afterwards to say, yeah, it looks like Gothic had a close call there. They didn't make a big deal about it, but they did notice and they did acknowledge it later on. But it just wasn't like, oh my god, no!
Shout out to Pando, man. But yeah, no, that was a sketchy clip to watch. But shout out Gothic again for not falling victim to the close star spawn. But yeah, he's still up here. Gothic is still up here. He's not going away. And if he can replicate his first round performance, even that's when he got his PB, right? In the first round?
I believe so, yeah.
If I recall correctly. I mean, it has been a little over a month at this point. Or a little under a month?
Let me check. Yeah, so we got the 138.53 in Heat 1.
Yeah.
And is that his current PB? Did he have only a 139 going into that round?
I think he still had a 138. I think he got a really small PB.
Okay, yeah, so that was his PB during the qualifiers, yeah.
No. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I think that was like a 4 or 5 second PB.
Yeah. I remember him getting like a really small PB. I just couldn't remember if it was during the quals or not.
Yeah. It was in overtime for day 1 or day 2 of the qualifiers next to Puncay, if I recall correctly.
Yep. So if he can bring that back for round number 3, Gothic could sneak his way in there once again. You know, sitting at 7th right now between the 2 rounds. I'd love to see Gothic back up there. It's GothicSeason, baby. It's always going to be GothicSeason.
But even though he's in 7th place, he does have very tough competition. Much like the other qualifiers before this one, the 7th place is going to be a battle. Right now, only 2 points out from that 7th and final spot is Simply, who did finish 7th in the qualifiers this go around with a 139.53 that he got towards the end of the day on Sunday. Had quite a few pacers make it up into Tippy, but unfortunately it just seems Once he gets to carpetless, that was also a thorn in his side. He died to carpetless. I saw 4 times across 3 different runs that made it that far. 137, 138 best possibles, and he wasn't willing to just settle for a 140. He kept going and kept going until he felt he was comfortable. And it looks like 140 is probably the minimum best that he was looking to strive for. He got the 139. He was happy with it. He called it end of the stream, but he's still kind of a wild card right now. He's not completely sure whether or not he wants. It sounds like he wants to go to pace, but he can't decide whether he wants to go as a competitor or if he just goes as a casual fan. He'll only be there for 2-3 days for the Mario days. Zeas, where do you think Simply's stance could be for the qualifiers right now? Could we see him make a push?
We could see him make a push still, I feel like. Simply's obviously still playing at a really, really high level. He has made great strides to improve his time down to what it is now. I believe his PB is a 137.12 currently. So he's still grinding for that 136. He still wants to improve. And I feel like if Simply really wants to make it happen, he can make it happen. It's kind of just up to him. Like, if he wants to qualify, he can absolutely qualify. From the way it sounds, he's kind of just like basing it off of maybe how other people perform, who else participates in the third rounds. Because, yeah, like you said, right now he is currently the first spot out of the top 7. He's in 8th. So if he wants to make it happen, he can make it happen. Absolutely. And, I mean, it'd be cool to see him back up on stage, but I also completely understand the need or even the want to just be there as an attendee and just chill and vibe with the crowd, maybe do some commentary, just have a good time. Pace is still very, very fun to go as an attendee, and who knows, if he doesn't qualify, he could have that fire reignited and be like, man, I really want to be back up there. Like, he's so experienced in being up on a stage for 120 star, and I'm sure he's going to want to be back up there if he doesn't get in this time. But he can do it if he wants to, is basically my overarching point. I think he can make it happen.
I guess to give people an idea for what we're looking at right now, this is what the point system is going to look like for the third qualifier. And here are the current standings. We'll just show the top 7 for now, or at least the top 8, so we can take a good look at Simply. He is 2 points right now behind Gothic Logic. So the way that I see it, Simply will need to finish at the very minimum in the top 5, and Gothic Logic would have to finish lower than him. And if it comes down to a tiebreaker, I believe it's whoever has the lowest or the best time across the 3 qualifiers will win the tiebreaker. So even then, top 5 may not be secure. He'd have to go for a top 4 time if he wanted to make it into the final stage there. Otherwise, it just looks like if he just plays through the runs or whatnot, he'll just decide to just chill back and perhaps go as an attendee. We didn't see him at the summertime because he was labbing it out. So maybe the competing on stage has just gotten a little too fatiguing, and he's just deciding to want to chill back this time. But I guess we'll have to wait and see where his mindset's at for September. Yeah,
I mean, he's been doing it at such a high level for so long. He is somebody who I think he's been playing for 10 years at this point. So he's been at it for a long time, and obviously would not fault him for maybe just wanted to hang back and be an attendee. But yeah, I think that that top 4 spot is probably his safest option if he really wants to qualify, because I believe Gothic has the tiebreaker over him since he did put up that 138 5x. I think Simply's best time was in the first round with another 139. So yeah, I think he's gotta perform pretty well in the third qualifier if he does want to get up there. At least a 138. He's gotta at least break the tie, if anything. So we're gonna have to see how Simply's feeling. Like I said, if he wants to get in, he can absolutely get in, and I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see what he decides for round number 3, but obviously any decision he makes for round number 3 is valid. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to see what he does.
One way or another, it seems like we will see a Simply at fall pace. Just depends on whether we'll see him on the stage or in the crowd.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be cool to see him back at a pace in general. And kind of on the same topic of people who could willingly, you know, qualify if they wanted to. Weegee notably did not finish, I believe, any runs. I don't think he participated at all, right? I don't think he went live with Mario for like at all. Or did he try to go live at one point and then it just wasn't really working out, so he just scrapped it?
If he did, then I was not aware of that. I did not get to watch as much of the qualifiers as I would like to have live.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that he has been struggling with thumb issues because he took a break from SM64 to try out Super Mario Brothers, but then grinding out Super Mario Brothers, he injured his thumb playing on the game. I'm guessing he must have been on NES if he hurt his thumbs, because I don't see where you need your thumbs too much on an emulator keyboard setup.
Yeah.
And so that now got him to playing Indigo Park on PC, and it looks like he's just been enjoying his time away from SM64. I believe the exact tweet was gonna take a break, ... I'm sorry to anybody I've ghosted over the last couple of months and stuff. I feel a bit of imposter syndrome towards streaming, and I think my passion is really for being competitive, and streaming can be draining for me. Which for somebody like Weegee, the grind that we see him go on time and time again, I mean, that is completely understandable. If anybody needs a break for anything for grinding, it's Weegee, because when he's locked in, it is not uncommon to see this man go for 12+ hours at a time some days.
Right. Yeah, those long stream hours are definitely not uncommon. And, you know, he's still the world record holder. He's still at that top spot on the leaderboard. Obviously, if he wants to come back for round 3, he can definitely put up a first place time. Would be absolutely no issue. And maybe get himself up there for fall. But, yeah, no, he definitely deserves a break. He's been playing at such a high level lately, and he's been grinding his ass off with SM64, so unsurprising that he maybe wants to explore other games and just kind of put his mind elsewhere for a little bit, and maybe we'll see a resurgence in September. But right now, as it stands, he did not participate in round number 2. Gonna have to see what he's thinking for round number 3. I don't know. One of those people. It would be really, really cool to see him up on stage because of what, you know, he stands for the community and the category, and just how good he is at this game. It's always must watch Mario when Weegee's up there doing his thing. But you know, he goes to SMB. He was like actually kind of killing it. Like, I think he had a sub 5 time from a few years ago that he was comparing against, and like, he was still getting on pace to beat that, so it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see that.
Weegee is probably speedrunner incarnate. It seems like no matter what game he picks up on any platform, he is just going to learn the game, he's going to break the game, and he's going to get a top level time in that game. As shown through the various Moist Critical challenges he's broken, his versatility across the Mario games, SMB, 64, and Sunshine. And, I mean, I guess we've just been fortunate enough as 64 fans to see him dedicate the bulk of his time to Mario 64 and hold the world record across several categories. But it can be absolutely draining, and I'm honestly surprised we don't hear more about people having hand or wrist issues just aggressively from playing games and whatnot.
Right. Absolutely. Obviously, SM64 was pretty much all of our first introductions to Weegee. I wish I was around when he was grinding Sunshine. That would have been really cool, but SM64 is my first speed game, so I didn't really look into Sunshine until after. I was kind of surprised to see when I was looking at like the leaderboards and stuff when I started looking into Sunshine that Weegee was up there. I had no idea. That he was like a top Sunshine runner. It was pretty cool, but you're definitely right. He can pick up pretty much anything and just get good at it very quickly, even if he had never played it before. So it's impressive. It's so impressive to see what Weegee can do.
And this is one of those situations where we're looking at basically the top 4, maybe in this case top 5 are basically all but guaranteed. I'd say the top 3 are absolutely guaranteed. If you got 30+ points at this time and you're playing next month, you're all but a shoo-in. But those bottom 2 spots are going to be an absolute dogfight. Gothic Logic, Simply, and Weegee going for it. But also noticeably, just a quick little shout outs here to the guys above Weegee, between him and Simply. Raisin and HorrorDoesSpeedRuns. Raisin recently getting that 139.56 back in July after the first qualifiers and moving from emulator onto console now, being a new member of the 139 club. Finishing a couple of runs over the weekend, getting a 142.16 and a 141.28, which was his personal best, which I believe got him for ninth out on the leaderboard. So still in solid contention with 13 points for ninth overall. And Horror, the man who just time and time again is just consistently on one sub 140 paces. But then there's just one thing that just has to grab us and just slap us across the face. He's so close, Zeas.
He's right there.
I feel like I'm edging for him right now.
Hey, yo. You're so right, man. You're so right. And we saw it all throughout this second round of qualifiers. Horror is somebody, like you said, constantly on pace for 139. It's like literally any run it will happen. It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if at this point. And from what I saw from Horror's gameplay, THI 100 was a big one for Horror, and it seems like every time he reached THI 100, something would happen. He would accidentally step on a Goomba and wouldn't ground pound it, and he would have to get backups, or he would take a fall somewhere, like the blue coin RNG outside of the cave with that one Goomba up there. It would fall, and then he'd have to go down and get it, and then he'd struggle with the wall kick, ledge grab to get back up. Like, it's always something with THI 100, and it's just always something in general with his runs. So it's just one thing needs to go his way. One thing needs to go Horror's way, and he is in there. He is in the 139 club. He can join Raisin in the elite territory. He's just got to seal the deal. He's just got to seal it. It's so close, man. It's so close. He's getting on so many good paces, like low 138, best possible time even in upstairs. Like, man, it's right there. It's right there. I just need to see it happen. I would
not be surprised to see Horror possibly just even sneak his way into the top 7 next month. At this rate, it's looking like if you're going to finish in the top 7, you need a 139. The moment Horror does, he's going to absolutely disrupt so many people's chances for qualifying. I firmly believe that Horror, when he gets the 139, it's going to be live. It's going to be the most glorious content we've ever seen.
Oh, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. It's going to be so hype when it happens. I just hope I'm awake for it, because Horror has a very good habit of doing PB attempts at like 3 in the morning. So I'm not always awake for it. Selfishly, I hope I'm there for it, though. I really do hope I'm there for it. But Horror, if you need to get the 139 at 4 in the morning, that's fine. You get it when you get it, man. That's up to you. But yeah, no. If Horror gets up here and he breaks this mental barrier of a 139, I feel like he's not going to be done there. And he's going to go crazy. He's going to go absolutely crazy. He's just going to start dropping that time pretty rapidly. So I'm very, very excited to see what Horror is going to start doing after that 139's achieved. But like I said, it's a matter of when. Not a matter of it. Not a matter of if. It is a matter of when. I'm excited to see it happen. So, back in the first recap episode for fall 2024, we laid out some predictions, and us and the Pace Pals production team here, we've kind of gone back and forth about how we want to handle these predictions. So we're just going to recap them really quick. As of, I believe this is as of the end of the second round, where everybody stands. So overall, me and Wes are tied with our correct picks, or points rather, with 6 out of 14. So of course we get a point for getting the runner's position correct in the top 7, and we get a point for them making it in the first place. So me and Wes are tied with 6 points apiece. Gio is right behind us with 5 points. Things are looking a little tough. Suigi in second right now for me. Probably not looking super great there. Might be losing at least a point there by the end of the third round. Again, we're going to have to see what happens. Simply taking first overall, which is what I predicted. Probably not looking good there either, but I could at least get a point for top 7, so there's still some points to be earned. I feel pretty decent about everybody else in the list at least being in the top 7. Weegee might be the only wild card, so I don't know. I feel all right about my picks. Wes, how do you feel about your picks?
I'm not gonna lie. What turned out to be a total accident, I'm now gonna absolutely say it was absolutely intended, and I feel genius being the one person keeping Weegee out of the top 7. I feel pretty awesome about that. What I don't feel awesome about is that Beeve, unfortunately, was not the dark horse to look out for. It does happen. Beeve still put in a good effort for the first qualifier, but it looks like he himself knows he's not quite ready to be at that level, so he's just going to step back and perhaps come back for next summer, which I respect. For everything else, I mean, placement is just going to all be a crapshoot. It's going to depend on where everybody's going to finish next month, so not too concerned about placements. But for the 6 people that I do have in there other than Beeve, I guess for 5 of them, pretty good, but simply, I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised through this point system that I have 6 out of 14, but I would not be surprised if I ended up being the last out of all of us. But enough about me. Should we absolutely just dog on Gio's pick since he's not here to defend himself?
You know what? I think that's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. Gio, this absolute bozo puts Beast Assassin in the 7 spot. In the 7 spot, that's my boy Beast. You can't doubt Beast like that. I mean, I know I only had him in 6, but roll with the punches. We'll roll with the punches here. But I feel a little bit scared because me and Gio have the same people in our top 7, just in different orders. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, but you know, I think he was a Simply Doubter. And I think that's the new storyline that we can roll with for this season. The Simply Doubter and a Gothic hater. I mean, pick a struggle, Gio. Come on.
Well, I mean, yes, if we look at across all 3 of these picks, despite it being Gothic season, you'll notice there is no Gothic on there, so we can absolutely say without question that all 3 people on this board are certified Gothic haters.
I can't believe you have that ready to go. Wes is always prepared. Wes is always prepared for this shit. It's amazing. But, you know, it's just so hard to pick 7 of them. It's so hard to pick 7, and I think Gothic's, like, surprise performance in round 1 definitely makes me feel a little bit regretful about not putting him in my own personal top 7, especially since he just qualified for summer. But yeah, I don't know. I just knew there was going to be more players this time around, people that maybe didn't participate in the last qualifiers or didn't qualify last time that are going to be looking to make a comeback, so
in hindsight, just at the times of these predictions, Weegee was on a roll. He just got in the 136, had been flirting with 135, so we all thought he was going to make it, and then GreenSuigi just came out of nowhere, so we automatically took Suigi to be the bump out of Gothic logic. But I mean, with so many other factors coming into play too, we've now got Smau even to worry about there, so Gothic is still not secure right now, so there is possibly one more month for Gothic to prove us wrong.
Yeah, Gothic can pop out and prove the doubters, Gio, wrong, and, you know, I'm excited to see it happen. I would obviously be rooting for that 100%. Not a Gothic hater over here. Can't speak for my other co-host, but, you know, it's, like I said, it's just so hard. A top 7 right now in this participant pool is so hard. It's, I don't know, man. I don't know. You gotta pick 7. Somebody has to lose. Somebody has to be eliminated. Okay.
Even simply as mentioned, it's not as easy as it once was to get into the top 7. There's now actual competition and more than just a handful of runners now guaranteed to make it in. It is hard work. Unfortunately, it does not bode well for us in the predicting game. So I guess in addition to being certified Gothic haters, I just have to say, Zeas, when it comes to predicting,
we're just media members, okay? We're just the media. We're just calling it how we see it. And at the time, like you said, Suigi and Weegee were looking like surefire picks, but we learned a valuable lesson, and there is no such thing as a surefire thing in the world of Super Mario 64 speedrunning.
Were you saying it could possibly be GG's for the G's?
Perhaps. At least for now. I don't think either of them are going to be, like, permanently done with Mario. I think, obviously, they're both still very young. They've been running the game for a while. I mean, Weegee's been running longer than Weegee has, but, you know, I just, as a Mario runner, you never really leave. You never really go away. You can be burnt out with the game. You can be like, nah, screw this game. I don't want to play it. I want to play other things. But eventually, you always come back. You always find your way back.
The three people I wonder are, there's Bev Prune, Siglemic, and Paracusia, who have all looked like they have taken pretty much a firm step into retirement, but I do genuinely wonder if there's ever moments where they just pick up a game and look to see if the spark is there and then realize it's just not. But they still, you know, are interested in at least picking it up and giving it one more shot.
Yeah.
Because even Zaya, who has been out of the competitive game for years now, will once in a blue moon turn on a stream and do 70-star attempts just to see if he's got the spark.
I mean, that's valid too. And, you know, if you have the equipment, like, it's super accessible to just boot things up and start playing. Like, it's not like a sport where you have to get your body in physical condition to play again, or you have to, like, do a bunch of training and workouts and, you know, condition yourself that way. You just boot up the game and start playing and see, hey, am I having fun right now? Oh, I am? Cool. Maybe I can do some runs, you know?
And with speedrunning still in its infancy, I'd still be curious to see where age can come into play, because I feel like speedrunning is one of those things you could theoretically do well into your 40s and maybe even beyond, but we haven't quite reached that factor yet. We'll have to wait another 20 years and see if we'll still see Cheese possibly booting up Mario for the first 133.
I want to see Cheese with, like, gray hair just still doing 120-star attempts. Oh, it'd be so amazing. You do have to wonder who's going to end up being the oldest top-level runner. It's worth theorizing on. Maybe we had to make a separate video about that. But, yeah, no. Round 2 was really, really good. We learned a lot from this round. Round 3 is going to be crazy. It's going to be another tight finish to get into that top 7. I just can't wait to see how it plays out. We're going to have to see how everybody's feeling in September. If certain people decide to play, if they don't decide to play, is that going to give way to other people to maybe sneak in there? If they can pop off in just the right way, in the right place at the right time? I don't know. We're going to have to find out. You never know. And like we said, it's never a surefire thing in speedrunning. So round 3 is going to be super, super, super important for everybody who we talked about today. But I think that's going to do it for our round 2 recap episode. We have a fantastic interview coming your way. We've been teasing this a little bit on social media, but it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good guest. Definitely going to want to look out for that one. So on your way to comment who you think is going to win Fall Pace or who is going to be in the qualifiers, maybe click that like button, maybe click that subscribe button so you don't miss the interview that's coming out. But yeah, Wes, any final thoughts? Any final words?
Can this interview get here sooner rather than later, Zeas? Because I've known about this behind the scenes for a while, and I just got to let you know. When it comes to this interview,
I needed it. I was a part of it, Wes. I need it. Oh my goodness! I'll have to send you the file so you can take a look at it pre-edit. That's what you get for being a production member on Pace Pals.
All right. I guess, what did we learn today here, folks? Speedrunning retirement world record accomplished by Puncay. No one's going to be taking that away from him anytime soon. Top 7th spot is up for grabs. It is going to be an interesting September qualifiers. And I guess the one thing I did want to show that accidentally came out, that I accidentally showed prematurely, but I think are now good to show, guys, is the pace schedule came out just within the last day. I believe it dropped yesterday. So if you guys want to check out the schedule, feel free to go be a Pace Pal and find out what games are going to be featured in the fall. I'll do a quick little scroll down here. You can find it at start.gg/pace, I believe, is the link, or you can find it out on their Twitter. It's a
Yep.
nice little selection of games here.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff on there. And wait a minute, is that West Dog on the schedule
Oh yeah, Donut County.
on November 9th?
Yeah, that is. I won't look into that one too closely because I still got to make sure I can make it out there for an early morning Saturday run.
That's pretty cool. What is Donut County? What is this game?
My God, you don't know Donut County?
I don't know what Donut County is.
Maybe you'll have to tune into the run and find out.
Oh, cliffhanger.
I guess just to give a breakdown, it's a story about a clan of raccoons who come into Donut County and are slowly taking over the city through giant holes.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Very chill game. One of the best soundtracks of any video game out there. Independently produced, and honestly, I'll probably be grinding out for it myself before pace, trying to go for the sub 40.
Let's go. Love to see it. Yeah,
But
you have the hour predicted time on there. Looks like.
Yeah, and it's going to account for setup and transition, but yeah, I did put the estimate for about 45 minutes for the game to be on the safe side. But the big thing too is right here at the bottom of the schedule.
Oh, another West Dog appearance.
The big one that I will be there for no matter what, the Speedrunning Awards show for GSA, the first one they're ever going to host. I don't know what that alt's going to be like. Obviously, GSA's got a lot going on now with the Speedrun Summit taking place in the last qualifiers, but maybe once we reach September, we'll get more updates on that.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. We heard about that back when we recorded the Milo interview. He was kind of giving us a little lowdown on it. He didn't really go into detail too much, but he was just like, yeah, this is kind of what we want to do. So it sounded very intriguing at the time. It still sounds intriguing. So I can't wait to see what they come up with. And who better to take that hosting spot than West Dog and was it Warning Track?
Yeah, Warning Track.
Also a G, also a professional. So couple of pros taking that. That's going to be really fun to watch either in person or online. Twitch.tv/speedrun. Go follow. But
But most importantly, subscribe to the podcast.
Subscribe to Pace Pals. Or even subscribe to the Speedrun channel. Twitch subs are $6 now, but it's fine.
If you want to subscribe at $0.00, subscribe to the podcast right now here on YouTube to stay up to date for all your latest pace-related news. Maybe as we get even closer to the actual event, we might even talk more about the event going on outside of Mario 64. Idea that I floated out there. I need to run it by the bosses first, but maybe there's something they're still interested in.
Maybe. We could make it happen. We can make it happen. We are always in talks. We're always coming up with new things. So definitely drop a sub here and keep an eye for it. But for myself and West Dog, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Thank you for checking out season 2 so far. We have a lot more coming your way. Recaps, interviews with a bunch of different people. Guest acquisition is going crazy. So, yeah, we're excited about Season 2, and we hope you are just as excited as we are. But thank you for watching. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go.
Beautiful.